and that remains unverified archaeologically. Um, the only reason why they say that it's good is because it fits within regional religious customs that they suppose happened. Now, that is the thing that I want to press upon. They're going off of religious texts, which we know about 80% of religious texts are completely bogus and don't really have any historical significance whatsoever, and saying that this is what happened. So you have a lot of religious people who are running around that honestly believe this shit happened, when in reality there's nothing that actually backs up what they're saying as being true. You know, and that's basically just saying it like it is. It's the truth. I've been doing a lot of reading and not really uh, doing the whole untethered part of the show, which is where I just come out and I say it. It's the truth. There's nothing that oh, there's not there's very little evidence, is what I'm saying, that any of the stuff that relates to Moloch is actually true. They're going off of biblical verses that aren't even verified archaeologically. And I don't give a shit what you think about. If you think freaking your faith is all you need, well, go ahead, believe that shit, okay? Um, I'm not going to go off of the text of somebody who wrote this down 2,000 years ago just because freaking that religion tells me, oh, you got to have faith. So I need to believe that this stuff actually took place when nothing actually backs it up whatsoever. I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen. If I found, that this site was here and it was written in the Bible, then that's cool. I understand that actually did take place. I understand the Babylonian exile. That there's proof that took place. There's archaeological evidence that backs that up. But a lot of this stuff, no, it's just complete garbage. Now, the Misha Staley, before I go any farther, is also called the Moabite stone. So just understand that, and I'll say it again. It's a 19th century BCE inscription, which was by King Misha of the Moab. They discovered it in 1868. Now, the Bible mentions events that took place, specifically in 2 Kings 3. And the Stele records Misha's victories against Israel and his devotion to Chemosh, the national gods of the Moabs. And that is basically what it comes down to when I am discussing what was it? I forgot what line I was on. But anyhow, the line that I just discussed. So after that, what I want to do is talk more about lines 12 through 14 of the Misha Stele, the Moabite stone. Now, this is in the middle section of the Stele, particularly lines 12 through 14, where Misha describes how he captured cities and dedicated them to Chemosh. This is where the interesting stuff gets into that I was talking about. Now, the translation of lines 12 through 14 is reconstructed text. And it says, and Chemosh said to me, go to Nebo against Israel. And I went by night and fought against it from the break of dawn until noon. I took it and slew all of them, 7,000 men, boys, women, girls, and pregnant women, because I had devoted them to Ashtar Kamesh. Now, Ashtar uh, uh, is Ishtar, just so everybody knows. Ashtar Kamesh. So that is a deity that is probably mixed with Kamesh, part of Ashtar associated with them. So um, the key interpretations of these lines is first the divine command from Kamesh. Okay, Misha claims that Kamesh ordered him to attack the Nebo, a city, attack Nebo, a city controlled by Israel. Now, this portrays Kamesh as an active war deity, similar to Yahweh's role in biblical conquests. Um, After that, we go to Hiram, which is total destruction. That's devoted to Kamesh. Okay, the phrase devoted them to Ashtar Kamesh suggests a harem, a sacred ban or total destruction in honor of a deity. This term is used similarly in biblical Hebrew, for example, in Joshua 6:17 regarding Jericho. It implies that the people were sacrificed or slaughtered as an offering to Kamesh. This takes us into mass killings as an act of devotion. Now, Misha states that he killed 7,000 men, boys, women, girls, and pregnant women. This mirrors the kind of sacred warfare and divine vengeance seen in parts of the Hebrew Bible. That would be found in 1 Samuel 15:3, where Saul is commanded to destroy the Amalekites. While it does not explicitly mention child sacrifice, the act of devoting people to a deity is suggestive of ritual slaughter. So now you have Kamesh's dual nature, the warrior and religious figure. Okay, the mention of Ashtar Kamesh suggests an amalgamation of Kamesh with the goddess Ashtar, which is Ashtarte and Ishtar mixed together. Or, well, actually, it's Ashtarte would be the Canaanite Phoenician version of Ishtar, which is Babylonian. Now, this reinforces the idea that Kamesh had aspects of both a war god and a fertility religious deity. Um, Now, uh, there's also a real huge similarity between the actions of the Jewish people as well as the acts of the Canaanites, and this goes back to something that I've always talked about. That's the one thing that I believe the Jews have a really hard time accepting is the fact that they are actually Canaanites. They want to bury that. They want to pretend like it's not true, when in reality, that's what they really are. They are Canaanites, and they moved away from their beliefs of, well, a lot of people have a hard time with the word paganism, but that's what it really is. You know, it's paganism, it's polytheism, whatever you want to call it. You know, I have a hard time saying polytheism, so that is something that I did want to bring up. Um, now, let's see here. Now, connections to biblical Kings 3:27 describes King Misha sacrificing his own son as a burnt offering when facing defeat. The Misha still, it confirms Misha's intense religious devotion to Kamesh. Okay, and this also strengthens the likelihood of human sacrifices. Uh, that they were part of the Moabite practices. But the issue is there's nothing there's nothing archaeological that backs this up. You know what I mean? This is all just text that's being written down. There's nothing there that actually says conclusively this is what took place. So going back over, the lines 12 through 14 of the Misha Stele, it describes mostly a mass slaughter dedicated to Kamesh, using language similar to what the biblical term harem was. That's called divine destruction. So the Jews believed that you could go into cities and destroy entire freaking cities and murder everybody inside of it, and they called it divine destruction. Okay. But at the same time, they're going to talk about Kamesh and say, he's worshiping babies to Moloch, that evil deity, that one that's associated to Kamash, this horrid, wretched baby killer, when in fact they were doing the same exact thing that this Stele is describing. The Misha Stele says that they went in and they murdered everybody and slaughtered them, and that's what it says. And of course, archaeology is going to support the idea that human offerings, including child sacrifice, may have been practiced by the Moabite religion tradition because of neighboring belief systems. So that right there covers 2 Kings 3:27. And I noticed Mark came in. You want to say something, Mark? It's up to you. It's like I said, I know this is very controversial, so you don't have to say nothing if you don't want to. But figured I would mention that. Now, with that being done, I do want to go on to another issue, and I believe I've already covered Kamesh, didn't I? Yes, I've already covered my notes on Kamesh. Now, Jeremiah 48, 7, 13, 48, 7, 13, and 46. That's the one that I want to cover next. Now, Kamesh is a big one. He really is. This is the one that really ties a lot of this together. And that they believe that there is archaeological evidence that Kamesh was worshipped during the time period referred to in 1 Kings 11:7. That would have been around the 10th century BCE. Now, the most significant piece of evidence is the Misha Stele, the Moabite stone, whichever you want to call it. And this directly mentions Kamesh as the chief deity of the Moabites. Now, like I said, the Misha Stele, or the Moabite stone, was in the 9th century BCE. It was discovered in 1868 in Dibon, Jordan, which is ancient Moab. That is dated around 840 BCE.